Hey everyone, and welcome to this quick explainer. Today we're unpacking an ancient biblical text, specifically Deuteronomy chapter 8, to explore a completely timeless psychological warning about human nature. You know that whole illusion of being entirely self-made? Let's get right into it.
So think about this for a second. When you finally hit it big and succeed, who actually gets the credit? It's a massive question about origin, gratitude, and ego. And honestly, it sets up the central theme of what we're looking at today perfectly. All right, to really get the warning in this text, we have to look at the setup. The chapter kicks off with the Israelites on this grueling journey through a great and terrible wilderness. And the text tells us this harsh environment was designed specifically to humble them, to test them, and to reveal what was actually in their hearts. And they didn't just pass through. They spent 40 years wandering out there, 4 entire decades where they were completely, 100% unable to rely on their own strength just to survive. Now, here's where it gets kind of bizarre in a totally supernatural way. The text points out these wild details, like the fact that despite walking endlessly in the brutal desert, their clothes literally never wore out and their feet didn't even swell up for 40 years. I mean, their daily survival was completely dependent on divine provision. They're out there dodging fiery serpents and scorpions in a severe drought, right? But they're being fed with this unknown manna and drinking water that poured straight out of solid flint rock. It was all to teach them a profound lesson, that man doesn't live by bread alone, but by every word from the mouth of the Lord. But then, watch this pivot. The text creates this massive contrast between the brutal, everyday scarcity of the wilderness and the absolutely breathtaking abundance waiting for them in the Promised Land. We are talking about a land of sheer luxury, brooks, deep springs, wheat, barley, vines, olive oil, and honey. The text says they'll eat bread without scarcity and lack absolutely nothing. I mean, they could even mine iron from stones and dig brass right out of the hills. Sounds amazing, right? But here is the real pivot point of our explainer, the trap of the full stomach. It's this incredibly dangerous psychological shift that kicks in the exact second scarcity ends and massive success begins. The text actually maps out this slippery slope of arrogance perfectly. It starts simple enough, just eating and getting full. But then it grows. You start building really nice houses, your herds multiply, your silver and gold stack up. And finally, your heart lifts up and you just forget. And that is the ultimate trap. When the heart lifts up, human pride completely takes the wheel. The warning is that they'll look around at all their new abundance and claim to be entirely self-made, saying, "Hey, my power and the might of my own hand got me this wealth." They literally forget all 40 years of being helplessly dependent in the desert. But the text immediately steps in to pop that ego balloon. It explicitly reminds them, no, you have to remember the Lord because He is the true source. He is the one who actually gives you the power to obtain wealth in the first place, done specifically to establish His covenant sworn to your ancestors. Which leads us straight into the final, sobering conclusion of the chapter. The text lays down an ultimate ultimatum about how they handled this newfound success. Basically, there is zero middle ground here. If they remember the Lord, they live and they multiply. But if they forget that true source and go chasing after and serving other gods, the text guarantees they will surely perish, facing the exact same destruction as the nations that came before them. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one thought. When you finally reach your own promised land, when you make it to the very top, how will you make sure you don't fall into that exact same trap of pride? Seriously, keep that in mind the next time you reflect on your own successes.